in that crater? Yes, sir. That should give you complete defilade from that machine gun. Then you'll give you some fire. Wait for my command.
Here's your Timothy Murphy of World War II.
Oh my God, I detest myself and offended the others. Listen to me, Lord.
All my strength. Anything to help me.
Okay, not much explanation, but I want to talk about some things. As gross as that is, that's the way it was. And veterans of World War II, when this came out, there was a little bit of a worry of what type of reaction they would have, and they were very favorable and felt that for the first time in American history, people might understand what D-Day was and what they went through. But I want to make a couple of points here. What are some things that stood out to you other than the blood and gore? What are some things you thought, oh, gee whiz, what are they doing there? What's happening there? Anybody have any? Yeah. That's very good. That's very good. Let me kind of go back. You saw the flamethrowers right off the bat. Those were very common in World War II throughout both theaters of the war, where they would actually have, propane, so to speak, in these tanks, and they would fire flame out and help clear an area. Not so good if you're wearing the thing and gets hit with a bullet. And you saw that. I mean, that was a dangerous, dangerous position to hold in World War II. Another thing that was kind of interesting is you got a lot of innocent bystanders there in a way. You got your medics that are not armed, okay? And they get on that ship and they try to take the beach just like everybody else. You have photographers. I'm going to show you some World War II footage, actual footage of this when we get done. Those people, that's what they did. They didn't fight. They got on those boats and took footage. You've got chaplains, right? You've got religious people there to help those suffering. They're not carrying weapons. They're having the same risk. You have these medics. Did you notice what's the main thing if they don't have much? If you don't have much of a chance, what are they going to give you? Morphine and leave you. They're actually even ranking an order in which they were going to attend to wounded soldiers depending on how bad they were. I mean, it's a horrible thing. Yeah.
Is that why he was going through some
Yeah. He was ranking how they were going to try to help them, and the sergeant or the captain's trying to get those medics off the doggone beach while they're trying to help these soldiers because they know they're at tremendous risk. And you can see the reaction of the one when he was not able to save the person because he got shot again. You noticed another thing that was a little different. When they got up on the beach and fought through all that, they went and gathered weapons from the people that were injured so they would have more ammunition. And their job, once they got on that beach and survived the assault of the beach, was to clear an area so that tanks could come in behind, because the idea is they were going to bring tanks in behind once the area was cleared. And so that's why they were trying to clear that area, and they were taking out that machine gun nest at the top and those types of things. Now, in answering your question, those big long pipes were the equivalent of maybe the modern day pipe bomb. Okay? They had fuses on them and they were real long, and they hooked them together, lit the fuse, and tried to clear the area out in front of them so they wouldn't have to step out. And you see the different type of weapons. The captain had a machine gun which shot many, many rounds. The rest of them had 10 clip M1s, and what they did is you could hear them again go cling, cling, and then shoot, 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 cling. That meant that clip was done. They'd have to stick another clip in. But I mean, we're a generation, and I start this generation, graduating from high school in 1976, where people came back from Vietnam about the time I graduated. We haven't had a draft-type war since then. And so from my generation on to you guys, can you even imagine being told that that's what you were going to do on June 6, 1944? Do you think those guys didn't have some sort of an idea that this might be the end for them? You know what I'm saying? And so the commitment was absolutely incredible. that they would do that. And, I mean, you could just see loss of life. And that was very accurate. I mean, like I said, World War II veterans watched this and praised its accuracy to a point. You have some fictional characters, but that's what it was like. How about those iron things that were all over the beach? Who put those up there? The Germans did. Yeah, so the tanks couldn't get on because they knew the tanks were coming next. Did you notice the part where the guy said, "I'm going to clear this area"? And he said, we've got wounded here, we're trying to get on the beach. He says, "I don't care, I'm clearing this area for the tanks." And his point was, his men were going to start to clear those obstructions off of the beach. Now they did provide a little bit of protection for them. And it's kind of a neat story, Mr. Vickers, if you have him for government, which most of you do. He's got one of these a kid made for him in shop. You ever seen that on his little desk? It's a miniature one about this long. Look on his desk, that's what it is. So a kid that had his military history class kind of took a liking to his classes, so he made him one of those in shop. They're pretty cool. But I mean, that's what D-Day was all about. I mean, it was horrible. And when we talk about the Pacific Theater, we talk about the invasion of the beaches of Iwo Jima, where they're trying to get to the top of Mount Suribachi. Same philosophy. They're going to dump those guys in the exact same way in those amphibious crafts, and they're going to lose 2,000 guys in the first day trying to get on the beach. So can you imagine that? I mean, 1,000 people is a lot of people. What's the town of Worland have? What's the population of Worland? 5,000? I mean, you think about that. So that's quite a commitment. Again, I want to emphasize that there are so many battles in World War II that we're not going to get to them all. So we're going to continue to go through this material and tell you how things go. And then I've got a really nice footage video that we'll show at the end that goes from D-Day basically till the Japanese surrender on the USS Missouri. But it's got good, real footage of the things we've talked about. And it's not, you think this is acting, wait till you see some of the footage I'm going to show you that was real, not much different, to be quite honest with you. So this was a brutal time. This was a huge commitment. And General Eisenhower, after D-Day and after liberating France, even said he didn't know if this war would ever end. I mean, it was just going on forever and ever, and the loss of life was absolutely unbelievable. Okay? So anyway, although it was a little gross, I think it's very, very, very important you understand what the invasion of Normandy Beach was, what D-Day in Europe was, and the sacrifice that the Allies made to liberate France, because that was the goal behind that, was to liberate France. Okay? Nice job. We'll continue on tomorrow. Those of you that don't have your green books into me yet with your assignments, what I want you to do is, I know it takes a little time, but if you didn't see a lot of the debate, then you go ahead and